Get all the cameras set up. And again, if you're new to the show, we have a lot of different cameras here because we have a lot of different platforms we stream on, and some of them allow us to stream together, and some of them don't allow us to stream together. And so it's an issue, but that's what we're waiting for, so we're ready. Welcome. I'm Dr. Joe Esposito. The way this works is I talk for 24 minutes. Whatever platform you're on, you can send me questions through your platform. Any health question you have, usually I have an answer. Sometimes I don't. Then we'll do another 24 minutes, and then I'll answer more questions. It's a great opportunity to have those nagging questions you don't know who to ask. Ask me. Maybe I have the answer. So I am ready to start whenever you are, John. Oh, that's right. Okay, so we have to chat for just a second. Put in the disclaimer that everyone says we should put on there, and so we're doing it now. And once John does that, we'll be able to start. There we go. Okay. Hey, folks, Dr. Joe Esposito here. Glad you're with me today. We're going to talk today about a topic near and dear to my heart. It's the best diet for pain management. Now, I'm the only chiropractor in the state of Georgia board certified in pain management, so I'm very familiar with the pain management techniques that are used. And many of the doctors that do pain management actually send their cases to us because with pain management, it's exactly that. It's managing the pain. So they'll give you injections, they'll give you medications, they'll do ablations. There's something called the intercept procedure, depending on the type of pain you have. And it manages the pain. It doesn't really get to the cause, it manages it. So what I do is they'll send the cases to me, and I'll say, okay, are there bones out of place? Let's put the bones back in place. Is there a dietary component? The answer is almost always yes. I've never seen it not be yes, because certain foods can cause inflammation and increase pain, and certain foods can actually decrease inflammation and decrease pain. So if you have pain, and most of us have some pain at some time in our lives, you want to have something that you can do proactively, because sometimes injections and ablations work, sometimes they don't. With an ablation, technically, it can grow back. It burns a nerve, but nerves have the ability to grow back, and many times the nerves grow back again, and then they give you another one and another one, and they try to do no more than 3 in an area because you might develop osteoporosis if you're doing injections in the area. Ablations, not so much, but other type of injections. And so what else is there? And that's always the question I get. What else can I do? Doc, I'm on the medication. I want to come off the medication. How many people want to come off their medication? I think everybody. I don't think anybody I've ever treated that takes any medication wants to take it forever. They all say, what can I do to come off this stuff? And so pain management is such a key diet is such a key when it comes to pain management. And very few people ever talk about this. And I wish they would because it's essential. So if you have pain, you got to consider a dietary protocol along with your other treatments. So there's a study published in Nutrition Research, and it suggests that diet quality directly impacts pain levels and physical function, especially among women. Why women? Women are more compliant. They do what the doctor says. Researchers examined data. It was called a Whyalla Intergenerational Study of Health, and that included information from 654 Australian adults, and the majority were women. What this study did, they aimed to explore body fat content, measuring body mass index, waist circumference, and body fat percent, and to see if there's a link between diet quality, weight, and pain management. And spoiler alert, there is. And that's the good news. Because the one thing you have control over is your diet. Most of us do anyway. You have control over your diet. I may not have control over the fact that I was in a car accident and I have torn ligaments in my neck. I may not have control over the fact I broke my back when I was a kid. I might have control over the fact there's a genetic predisposition in my family to have issues. But the one thing you have control over, it's what's on the end of your fork, what you're eating. And the problem is, and I've said this many times, the problem is that the bad food tastes good. And when you eat certain bad foods, it stimulates pleasure centers in your brain. You get high from it, and you want to eat more. And it's really hard to break that. And I tell the story of a patient years and years ago, and she brought me chocolate chip cookies. And they were vegan, and they were gluten-free. And there's a little old lady, and she was so excited to make these for me because she wasn't able to walk, and she had really serious health issues. And after being under treatment with us, she was able to function on her own. She was independent again. And so she was very excited, and she brought me these cookies. And I remember I had them at home, and I had them in the pantry, and I was sitting watching TV, and I remember essentially hearing the cookies call me. And so what was I going to do? They're in the house. Nobody's around. I could do whatever I want. But I knew they still loaded with sugar. And so I had to throw them out of my house. I had to throw them in a stream in my backyard. Because if they were in the house, I was going to eat them. And I was almost out of control. So luckily I had the wherewithal to say, I got to get these things out of the house. So I threw them out, and then they weren't there. So here's my rule on bad food. Get it out of the house. Because if it's in the house, you're going to eat it. I'm going to eat it. Because we get pleasure from it. And we want to stimulate those pleasure centers in our brain the best we possibly can. So, yeah, you'll want to get high. And you'll say, oh, just this one time. I'm not going to do it again tomorrow. Every addict says that. This is my last drink. This is my last cigarette. This is my last gamble. No, because once you get that pleasure, you want more. So when it comes to bad food, get it out of the house. And if you're in pain, you don't make logical decisions. I just want to feel good for this moment, this second in time. And so you'll eat those cookies. You'll eat that cake. You'll eat that bread. Get it out of the house. So diet quality alone appeared to have direct impact on pain levels. That sentence alone, I could pretty much drop the mic and walk away. Diet quality alone appeared to have a direct impact on pain levels. What you're eating determines how much pain you're going to feel. Now, it's not going to get rid of all your pain, but it's going to help mitigate a lot of the damage. So for women, better quality diet significantly associated with lower pain levels, a reduction from 37 to 38% of pain. So if you're in pain, and I can say to you, we can get rid of a third of your pain. You'd say, what do I got to do? I'll do anything. And so there it is. Diet's the key. For women, better diet quality was linked to improved physical strength as well. And so if you have more physical strength, you're able to move around, and many times movement is going to be a key to managing pain as well. So the study's results offer encouraging evidence that a healthier diet may notably alleviate pain and support physical function, especially in women, irrespective of body fat. Because the body fat's a big issue. But if you change the diet, it had people that were heavy that changed the diet, people that didn't, the diet was a big factor. So the big question comes up is, what does a good diet look like? What is a pain management diet? And we're going to talk about that in a second. Chronic pain is defined as pain lasting more than 3 months, and it affects about 30% of the population. So 1 in 3 of us have chronic pain lasting more than 3 months. And the older you get, the more likely you are to fall into that category because you did stuff. When you were a kid, maybe you didn't hurt your back, but when you were a teenager, maybe you played sports, maybe you got in a car accident, maybe you slipped and fell. Then as we get older, we're more likely to have damaging injuries. I mean, it's always the joke. My friends say, I woke up and I couldn't move, so sleeping gave me a headache. Sleeping threw my back out of place. Yeah, the older we get, the harder it is to manage pain. So while the causes of chronic pain vary, there's a strong link between body fat, chronic pain, and your diet. So obesity increases the both localized and widespread pain. It creates a cycle of weight gain, which can worsen the pain, which can contribute to more weight gain because you want to eat more. Now, I used to be overweight. When I was a kid, I was very overweight. I have stretch marks all over my body. So I totally get the whole thing of wanting to eat. Because when I was a kid, my mother, we were very poor, so food was the one thing that we had to give us happiness. And my mother my grandmother was overweight, her sister was overweight, my mother was overweight. And so my mother's thing was, if I'm going to put the oven on anyway to bake a chicken or whatever, I want to throw a cake in there too. I hate to waste the heat. That's called an excuse. So this is a good excuse to make a cake. And then if I didn't feel good, eat something. If I felt very good, hey, let's celebrate, let's eat something. I mean, think what we do with food. It's such an integral part of our life. It's the one thing we all of us do about 3 times a day. We may not go to the bathroom 3 times a day, but we're going to eat 3 times a day. And the quality of the food that you eat has such an impact on your pain. So recent studies, including current research, reveal that dietary patterns may influence pain independently of body weight. So it could be, like I said, overweight does have a problem, but the diet itself is going to be a big issue as well. So the higher quality diet can help reduce pain by minimizing inflammation and something called oxidative stress. What's oxidative stress? Oxidation is essentially rusting. So if you can imagine Pac-Man eating through things, waka, 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 that's oxidative stress. And if you have a bad diet, you're going to increase the oxidative stress. So if you're eating a diet dense in vitamins, minerals, nutrients, antioxidants, fiber, that can help reduce overall pain. The standard American diet, the Western diet, is conducive to more pain. Carbohydrates, simple carbohydrates, saturated fats, sugars. This can increase inflammation, which can increase pain, which can make the problems worse. So the study, again, the one study we're talking about, there are certain core foods that people who ate them did better with pain management. The core foods are fruits, vegetables, lean proteins, and grains. So pretty much what I've been teaching you for 40 years. Fruits, vegetables, nuts, and seeds. That's your core nutrients. So according to this one study, it's likely due to the anti-inflammatory and antioxidant effects of fruits and vegetables. So berries, extra virgin organic olive oil, green leafy vegetables, omega-3 fatty acids, nuts and seeds, whole grains, everything I've been teaching you for the past 40 years. So if you've listened to my shows before, and I've been lecturing now again for 4 decades, there's a recurring theme. And I remember years ago talking to one of my bosses on a radio station when I got into the big world of radio. And I said, sometimes I feel like I'm being redundant. And he says, no, Joe. He says, you're giving information. And that information is the truth. And so it's going to be redundant. There isn't anything new that changes. Eating more fruits, vegetables, nuts, and seeds is good. And eating less saturated fats and simple carbohydrates and chemicals and ultra-processed foods is bad. He says, your story is pretty simple. He says, you come up with all the scientific research behind it. But the bottom line is, don't eat bad food, eat good food. So incorporating these things into the diet can reduce severity of pain and improve overall well-being. And that's one of the reasons why every patient that comes in our offices gets a nutrition workup. Because I've had doctors say to me in the past, they say, why do you do a nutrition workup on every patient? They're not there for nutrition. They might be there for a car accident, maybe neck pain, back pain, shoulder pain, sciatica. They're not there for nutrition. Why do you do a nutrition workup? Because I want to get the best results possible for my patients. And if diet has such an impact on pain, even if we give them the best chiropractic care in the world, or they get the best medical care in the world, the best surgery in the world, diet is going to have an impact on how quickly they heal and how their pain levels are measured. So why wouldn't every doctor incorporate nutrition into every case? And the answer is, I don't know. There's a disconnect between what the research says in healthcare and what we're doing in our healthcare system. Nutrition has benefits on every single patient, quality nutrition. Every patient would benefit from improving their nutrition. I believe every patient would benefit from some type of supplementation as well. And yet, that's the one thing that's not taught in most schools. Doctors never address it. I mean, it's good for me. It's job security. They send their patients to me. That's good job security. But I want everyone to know this. And you're not going to get it in most healthcare facilities. That's why I'm trying to teach you to incorporate it into your life. So what's going to be the best protocol when it comes? Let's start with pain. Protocol for pain should be very simple. Number one, chiropractic evaluation. Chiropractic, most effective, least expensive treatment for back pain. Do a nutrition workup on the patient. Find out what are you doing that's going to make the problem worse. I have a traumatic brain injury. I can't do artificial sweeteners. Artificial sweetener will increase your pain because aspartic acid, which is one of the main ingredients in aspartame, is an excitotoxin to the brain. Monosodium glutamate, too much glutamic acid, excitotoxin to the brain, causes the brain to fire faster than it's supposed to, and you could feel more pain. If the number one food allergen is dairy, number two is wheat. What if we took out wheat and dairy from people's diet? It's going to drop the inflammation dramatically. And that's systemic, overall inflammation, so the body has the capabilities to heal more effectively. If you're not digesting your food, if you have heartburn, acid reflux, burping, gas, bloating, diarrhea, constipation, the food is probably passing from your stomach into your small intestine, partially digested, where it rots and causes inflammation. So why don't we fix the gut? Why don't we get the diet straightened out? Why don't we realign all the bones and add that to the treatment that we're doing right now? And in most cases, major majority of the cases, you're going to see a dramatic improvement in the patient's overall health. And yet, for some reason, nobody talks about that. I think healthcare has become so specialized. There are doctors that just do wrists. There are doctors that just do shoulders. There are doctors that just do hips. So why don't we go back old school and say, okay, what is causing the hip? Well, the hip is worn out. What caused the hip to wear out? Well, the spine was out of place, and that caused the hips to shift, and that caused the bones to rub up against each other. So even if you have the best hip surgery, and I just saw this several times last week, hip replacements, but the bones are still out of place. Hips aren't level. And so when they're walking, they're going to wear out the other hip. Well, then we do another hip replacement. But that didn't fix the problem. So if you have pain, neck pain, back pain, shoulder pain, numbness, tingling, come see us. In the Atlanta area, we have offices in Marietta, Duluth, Stockbridge, and West Cobb. Let's do an evaluation of the vertebrae and all the joints, and let's see if there's any misalignments. Common sense says put the bones back in place if they're misaligned. Number 2, let's look at your diet. You're doing an inflammatory diet. Let's get you on an anti-inflammatory diet. I'm going to talk about that next. What is an anti-inflammatory diet? Let's talk about it. And then let's look at supplementation. What would be good supplements? Turmeric is great. Omega-3 fatty acids are great. Vitamin D is vital. Dr. Joe's Super Greens, Dr. Joe's Essential Source is a starting point. B-complex for the nervous system. Nitric oxide to increase circulation, bring vital healing blood to the area. How come nobody talks about these things? It aggravates me because I know after 40 years and the thousands, tens of thousands of patients I've worked with one way or another, I know that there's things that can be added to their protocols that can help. In addition to foods rich in antioxidants, you want to look at the omega-3 fatty acids. Omega-3 fatty acids are anti-inflammatory. Probiotics, fiber, vitamins, minerals. All of this should be included in everybody's diet, especially a patient that has pain. Now, omega-3 fatty acids are vital. We're going to talk about those in a second. But the holistic approach to healthcare, holistic meaning the whole body, not just, hey, it's the spine, it's the hip, it's the knee. So if you want to make an appointment, go to my website, drjoe.com. In the Atlanta area, we have offices in Marietta, Duluth, Stockbridge, and West Cobb. If we don't have an office near you, send me an email through the website. I'll try to find you a doctor in your area. I want to be your source for healthcare. And I refer patients out all day, every day, because it's too far to come. So make an appointment, drjoe.com. Normally the first visit is $940. I've reduced that to $299. That's an exam, x-rays, consultation, first treatment, going over the x-rays, and a complete nutrition evaluation. And I do that because I want to find out what's going to be the best course of treatment for you. Is it chiropractic? Is it orthopedist? Is it neurologist? Is it pain management? I don't know. Let's dig in deep. Let's set up an entire protocol to check the nervous system, check the digestive system, check the diet, and let's see what direction is going to be best for you. Now, we accept almost all insurances. And we accept car accidents, sports injuries. I teach doctors and lawyers and physical therapists, insurance companies, how to deal with car accidents. There are so many scammers in the car accident business. In fact, I think a majority of the doctors treating car accidents now are scammers. So you'll get a call from somebody saying, oh, we're with the survey company, we're with the Referral Network of America. If anyone ever calls you and says, go see this doctor or lawyer, it's a scam. It's a felony on their part. And you're not going to get the care you need, and you're not going to get the legal representation you need. So call me if you're in a car accident. If we can see you, great. If we can't, we'll send you out. Had a patient come in last week. He waited 8 weeks to come see us. I was hoping the pain would go away, but it didn't. Don't hope the pain's going to go away. Come see us, and let's document your injuries right away. If there's nothing wrong, I'll tell you, hey, there's nothing wrong. Go home. But you want to come see us as quickly as possible because the insurance companies play a game called gap in care. Oh, you didn't come to us right away. You didn't go to the doctor right away. There was a gap in care, so we're going to deny your claim. It's a little game they play, but don't let them do that. Come see us right away for you, your friends, your family, and your kids as well. So drjoe.com. So the holistic approach, looking at the whole body when it comes to pain management, that's going to be the best thing. Food is medicine. I know it's trite, but yes, food should be your medicine. Adapting an overall healthy lifestyle is going to amplify the benefits of a good diet. It's never too early or too late to make healthy choices. And that's the thing. Well, I don't care. I'm going to die anyway. Well, that's an approach. And you can take it if you want to, but I don't want to suffer. I talk to patients every day, seniors. I talk to people that have seniors in their lives, and they all say the same thing. Boy, I wish I took better care of myself. Wow, I wish I didn't do what I did. Well, it's not too late. Come see us. In fact, I'm doing a study right now with a senior housing group to determine what's going to be the best nutritional course of treatment for seniors. Can they live longer? Can they live happier? Can they stay in assisted living and not have to go to independent living, not have to go to assisted living? And so we're doing a study on that right now. So it's not hard to understand that if you have a normally functioning nervous system, normally functioning digestive system, and good nutrition, you're going to be in good shape. And if you're eating the standard American diet, alcohol, meat, sugar, dairy, coffee, soda, artificial sweetener, breads, cookies, cakes, donuts, pastas, these are inflammatory foods. They're going to make your pain worse. And when you start eating these high antioxidant foods, high in vitamins and minerals, high in fiber, you do see, according to the studies, direct correlations between pain levels and a good diet. So the way to deal with it is get the bad food out of the house. Because if it's there, you're going to want to eat it. If it's there, I'm going to want to eat it. So if you're in pain, don't fall victim to that. And I know I'm in pain. I just want some ice cream. I'm in pain. I just want some donuts. Get it out of the house. Only have good food in the house. And that's my rule. If I have food in the house that's fruits, vegetables, nuts, and seeds, I'm going to eat it. Because I don't want them to go bad. I grew up really poor and we didn't waste food. So if I know it's there, I got to get it eaten before it goes bad. If I don't have the good food in the house, I'll start wandering. Oh, maybe I'll have some crackers. Oh, maybe I'll have, again, I don't eat any animal products, but it's very tempting to wander. So the best supplements, and I'm going to talk about those in a second, the minimum supplements I would recommend would be Dr. Joe's Super Greens and Dr. Joe's Essential Source. They're very alkalizing to the system because when there's inflammation, there's a lot of acid. They're prebiotics, probiotics, digestive enzymes, complete multivitamin, chlorella and spirulina to detoxify the liver, omega-3 fatty acids, iodine, all the essential nutrients that you need. That's why I call it Essential Source. Get your essential nutrients from the source, which is fruits, vegetables, nuts, and seeds. So Essential Source and Super Greens. Omega-3 fatty acids, great for inflammation and also great for brain function. I was talking to one of my patients, been coming to me for about 30 years now, and I said, how's it going? He goes, this getting old stuff is tough, man. I said, but imagine had you not come to us 30 years ago. He says, I'd be dead. He says, absolutely, I'd be dead. He says, you guys keep me going, and I really appreciate it. So omega-3 fatty acids, vital for brain function. They're anti-inflammatory. They're on, by the way, the Super Greens, the Essential Source, the B-Complex, the omega-3s, they're all on the website, drjoe.com. They're in the store section. Make the investment. I can't stress enough how important it is to give your body the nutrients that it needs, and I've done it for you. I've put it in supplement form to try to make it as easy as possible. So Super Green, Essential Source, B-Complex for the nervous system, because you pee your B vitamins out every day, you got to replace them. And if you have normal or high blood pressure, I'm going to recommend something called nitric oxide. Nitric oxide opens up the blood vessels and increases circulation to your heart, your lungs, your liver, your spleen, your sex organs, and that helps tremendously to get the circulation through the body to flush out waste products with the blood and bring nutrients into the damaged area. And so nitric oxide is my third favorite supplement. Super Greens and Essential Source are my first. And nitric oxide makes you feel good too. You get a rush of energy, better clarity of thought. If you're on blood pressure medication and you're taking nitric oxide, chances are it's going to lower your blood pressure. It's never not. You might be the first one, but it's never not worked. And so monitor your blood pressure. If it goes too low, you got to talk to your doctor and say, hey, can I give up my medication because I'm doing this new lifestyle change? I'm eating the right foods. I'm taking supplements. My blood pressure's dropping. Do I still need to maintain this level of medicine? Only your primary doctor, your prescribing doctor, can answer that question for you. I can't. But wouldn't it be nice to go to the doctor and say, hey, doc, my blood pressure's dropping. What can we do about that? And then smile. And most doctors go, oh, I get it. You're probably talking to Joe. Joe's pretty smart. Let's go ahead and lower your medication or to reduce the medication totally. And that's my goal. I don't want to take you off your medication. I want to get you well enough so you don't need the medication. And with pain pills can cause serious damage to your liver. Even over-the-counter acetaminophen can cause damage to the liver. And so that's why I do recommend if you are taking medications that you do take supplements to mitigate the damage that it's causing to the liver, the blood vessels, the heart, the lungs, the liver, the spleen. Let's try to control the damage. And that's why so many doctors refer their patients to us because they get it. Somebody's in pain. They need medication. I get that. But what can we do to slow down the damage and maybe get to the cause of the problem? Folks, I'm looking at the clock. I got to go to a break. If you have any health questions, send them to me through my website, drjoe.com, drjoe.com. Happy to answer your questions for you. My website has over 4,000 hours of content on it. You could search, put something in the search bar and find it. But the best thing to do is make an appointment. Let's do an evaluation on your nervous system, your digestive system, and your diet. Let's get to the cause of your problems, not just treat the symptoms. Folks, I'm Dr. Joe Esposito, drjoe.com. We'll be right back. Okay? Christy approves. We can continue. Christy approves. Yes. You have questions?
I've heard that cardiac stress tests cannot predict heart attacks. If not, what can?
Nothing can really predict a heart attack. But I can kind of look at the patient and say, okay, this is your lifestyle, this is your diet. You can do a scan, calcium score, see what your calcium score is. But again, that's only detecting hard calcium. It's not detecting soft calcium. So really, lifestyle is going to be the biggest predictor of your heart attacks. And it's not a problem until it's a problem. And then it's a problem. I had one of my professors say that in college. So I'm eating bad, I'm smoking, I'm drinking, I'm partying, I'm having a great time. Hey, I'm fine. I don't have any problems yet. Keyword there is yet. So a stress test is good. All the tests are good. I have no problem with the tests. What do you do with that information once you get it is my question. So lifestyle is going to be the biggest predictor more than anything.
If I'm concerned about my heart health, should I have my LIPA and lipoprotein levels checked?
Yes. And again, it's not just LIPA. If you don't know what there's new blood tests to figure out. There's LDL, HDL, the VLDLs. And so we're finding more and more things to test. And that's all well and good. But again, I have to ask the question, a rhetorical question, what are you going to do about it? I've got high HDLs. Lipoprotein small a. What am I going to do about it? Well, we're going to get you on medication. Well, why do I have it to begin with? I don't know. It's usually diet and lifestyle. So yes, you should get it checked, but then if you want to, bring the results to me and I'll go over it with you and give you some suggestions on what to do. What else?
For the past few months, I've had some tightness in the center of my chest. A doctor doesn't think it's my heart after running some tests, but I don't have a diagnosis. Do you have any ideas for me or any tests that should be run?
It could be the ribs out of place, and I've seen this many times, myself included. I played football and hockey, and I damaged my ribs a lot. And so when I remember being young and I couldn't breathe, and when I finally went to a chiropractor at about 18 years old, I got my ribs adjusted, I was able to breathe. So it could be the ribs. It could be the stomach pushing up against the diaphragm. If the stomach pushes up against the diaphragm can't drop down and let air in, so it feels tight. So I would say you might have a physical problem. Ribs out of place for a stomach. Come see us. We can test you for it. If it's there, we'll tell you. If it's not, we'll tell you that too. But it sounds like it's more of a physical problem if it's not the heart, which is good. It's not the heart, but let's fix the other ones too.
I've heard very positive things about the 18-6 intermittent fasting protocol. Do you agree?
Yes. I think it's great. You want to intermittent fast at least 12 hours a day. So if I have dinner at 5 o'clock at night, I shouldn't have breakfast till 5 o'clock in the morning. That's 12 hours. If you can go 18 hours without eating and then eat within a 6-hour period, that's ideal. It's challenging. It's tough for me because if I don't eat after about 12 or 14 hours, I start getting hungry, but I also start getting weak. So I want to make sure I eat something. And so for me, I can usually do 12, 14, 15 hours and I'm okay. But if you can do it 18 hours of fasting and 6 hours of eating, that's great. Make sure you drink water during those 18 hours, but I think it's great, yes. What else?
For new patients, what are some of the best tests that should be taken?
New patients, I'm not sure if you mean with us or with anybody. We check the nervous system, we check the digestive system, we check your diet. That's where we start. Had a patient come in the other day, 58 years old. Husband died suddenly 2 years earlier. Her husband died a year later. Her father died. Husband and father died. She's taking care of her 90-year-old mother, and she's having hair loss. So for that, we do a hormone test. We do something called a Dutch test, and we're going to see where her hormones are off or imbalanced. The adrenal glands also are keys because they fight inflammation. They produce sex hormones. So we have to do a customized protocol for each patient. I don't know. Hair analysis. I've had some people that are just wacky. They can't figure anything else out. They've had all the tests done. We do a hair analysis, and they have heavy metal toxicity. And so then we have to address that. So there aren't any. The standard test is exam, x-rays, check the diet, and nutrition evaluation. That's how we do it. But then we can customize the protocols. Maybe it's an MRI. I don't know that until I meet with the patient. So what else?
We have several Happy New Year's blessings going to you.
Oh, thank you. I hope you guys have a wonderful New Year. I hope that I can help bring you a good New Year. because you're getting all this information and there's no reason not to use it. So thank you and Happy New Year to all of you too. Let's make it happy by taking care of ourselves. What else?
That is all.
All right, ready for part 2. Get my nose itchy, get my tea drunk. Drunk? I guess it's drunk. I don't know. I went to school in New Jersey. I don't know. All right, we are ready for part 2. Ready? Hey, folks, Dr. Joe Esposito here. If you're just joining us, welcome. If you stayed with me, thank you. I know you're busy, and I appreciate that. We're talking today about the best diet for pain management. 30% of people worldwide have chronic pain. Chronic pain means it's been there for 3 months or more. I think it's higher than 30%, personally. Almost everybody I know has had pain for more than 3 months of some sort or another. And being in practice, I guess I see a lot of patients with pain. And so I think that number's higher, but that's what the one study said. So we'll go with 30%. And when it comes to pain management, again, I'm board certified in pain management. We know that we can do medications, we can do injections, we can do ablations, we can do intercept procedures, and we can do these things to manage the pain. But nobody is really talking about getting to the cause of the pain. I shouldn't say nobody. Very few people are talking about getting to the cause of the pain. That's all I talk about. I have a lot of patients with pain. I have a fracture in my low back. I have a traumatic brain injury. I understand chronic pain. I get it. But if I'm doing medications, I'm going to be doped up. It's going to be affecting my liver. I can't give you the quality information that I give to you guys all day, every day. So I don't want to do that. Sometimes I have to. If pain gets bad enough, I have to take some medication. But what else can we do? Number one treatment for back pain, most effective, least expensive treatment is chiropractic care. And chiropractic care keeps me going. Without chiropractic care, I'm sure I wouldn't be here. And so on rare occasions when my issues flare up, I go to my chiropractor, one of my doctors in my offices, and they adjust me, and I do great. And I wish all of you could experience that. And if you come to see us, when you come to see us, it's going to take time to get it stabilized. I had a patient the other day send me a message. He wanted to talk to me. He's not getting any better. He's seeing one of my doctors in another office. So he calls me up, and I'm chatting with him. He's seen us 3 times. He's had arthritis, knee pain, has had pain for about 15, 20 years, and it's been 3 visits. I said, it's going to take a little more than 3 visits to undo decades worth of damage. Stick with me. Okay, he was fine. So we are very good at naturally dealing with pain management. My team and I think, are some of the best in the world. And the reason I say that is because I'm a patient here too. And I want to get the quality care. And my doctors are handpicked by me, they're trained by me, and they're my personal doctors. They're the ones that take care of me and my family. So you're in the hands of who I consider some of the finest doctors in the world. And I've had a lot of doctors come and go wanting to work with me, and they just don't cut the mustard. They just don't make it. And I've had many doctors mad at me. But I want to work with you. I said, I know you do. Go out, get some experience, come back in 4 or 5 years, and then we'll talk to see if you're better. Because I want the best of the best working with me. So chiropractic care is great, but we also have to look at the nutritional angle. What supplements, what foods are going to be the best to eat, not just for pain management, to avoid pain problems and avoid overall health issues? The protocol is pretty similar, whether it's obesity or chronic pain or infections or digestive issues or headaches. The protocol is pretty simple. The number one thing I want you to look at is more vegetables. You want to eat about 7 different types of vegetables a day. Now, thinking that's an awful lot. It is an awful lot. Now, I created something called Dr. Joe's Essential Source, which is fruits and vegetables in a powder form. Because I wanted to make it easy, I wanted to make it quick, I wanted to make it convenient, I want to make it inexpensive. So we take fruits and vegetables, we juice them, take the water out at a very low temperature, and what's left is powder. We take this powder, and it's, by the way, the water's taken out at a very low temperature, so the enzymes are preserved. Because enzymes help fight inflammation. Then we add prebiotics, probiotics, digestive enzymes, and a complete multivitamin. And we sweeten it with stevia. So it tastes really good, the Essential Source. Super Greens is chlorella and spirulina to detoxify the liver, omega-3 fatty acids for inflammation and brain function, iodine, because every cell in your body needs iodine, and we alkalize the system. Because if you're in pain, there's a lot of acid waste products being produced. And so the minimum supplements I would suggest everybody take would be Dr. Joe's Super Greens and Dr. Joe's Essential Source. Then I would add B vitamins, because you pee your B vitamins out every day, and they're important for nerve function, and that's where your pain is felt, through the nerves. And then we do a dietary workup with our patients. But 7 different types of fruits and vegetables can be tough. We solve that problem with Essential Source. Green leafies, kale, lettuce, spinach, cruciferous vegetables, broccoli, Brussels sprouts, they're called cruciferous. The reason they're called cruciferous, useless information, is that the flower that forms on the plant looks like a crucifix. That's why it's called cruciferous. Absolutely useless information. But they have something called diindolylmethane. Diindolylmethane helps prevent testosterone from converting into estrogen. Now, as we get older, especially men, we're converting more and more testosterone into estrogen. So your testosterone levels might be okay, but they're converting into estrogen, or your testosterone is low because it's converting into estrogen. So diindolylmethane helps prevent that conversion. Now, there's a supplement I have. It's called Estrogen Regulator. I take it every day. You should too. Now, women shouldn't take Estrogen Regulator. Okay, men should. And women can take it if they're during childbearing years. If they're perimenopausal or menopausal, don't take Estrogen Regulator. I'll tell you when and when not to take supplements, even though I'd love for you to take them. Don't take them because you need the estrogen if you're postmenopausal. But for men, it helps keep those testosterone levels high. Why do I say that? It's not about sex drive. It's not about muscle mass. It's about muscle structure. Testosterone controls the muscles. And if you're low in testosterone, you're not going to build up strong muscles, which are going to cause the bones to flop out of place. That's, really simply put. But you need muscles to support the bones to protect the nerves. And so I take Estrogen Regulator every day, especially as I'm getting older, and most men should too. So Estrogen Regulator is great. It's from diindolylmethane. You get that from cruciferous vegetables. Now, am I going to eat enough broccoli or Brussels sprouts to get enough diindolylmethane? Probably not. And that's why I take it as a supplement. And all the supplements are on the website, drjoe.com. So Super Greens and Essential Source are in addition to eating a lot of vegetables. My rule is this. I want you to have something raw at every meal. Could be broccoli, cucumbers, tomatoes, avocado, salad, mangoes, apples. Raw food has enzymes in it, and enzymes can help fight inflammation and digest food. I take a digestive enzyme supplement every time I eat a cooked meal. Yesterday, at 4 o'clock, when I had dinner, I had split pea soup. I took digestive enzymes. Today, I had fruits for breakfast, Super Greens, and all my supplements, and fruit. And then lunch was a salad. And so today I don't need to take the enzymes because I've been eating raw food all day. But I carry enzymes with me. Whenever I eat a cooked meal, I take a digestive enzyme. So Super Green, Essential Source, B-complex, digestive enzymes are going to be key. Nitric oxide opens up the blood vessels and increases circulation. B vitamins help the nervous system. I wish every doctor knew what I knew. I wish I could download my brain when it comes to biochemistry and nutrition, just give it to every doctor out there. But I can't do that. And it's not their specialty. Their specialty is gynecology, their specialty is orthopedics, neurology. That's where we fill in such a gap that's glaringly obvious when it comes to healthcare. Nutrition affects everything. The number one cause of health problems is diet. Number one cause of health problems is diet. And yet, very few doctors are ever trained in diet. I find the disconnect amazing. But that's my job, I guess. Like I said, job security for me. Fruits are great. Antioxidants. The darker the color, the better it usually is. So berries, cherries, they're great. Frozen fruit, just as good as fresh fruit. But I don't want you doing fruit juice because fruit juice is like pure sugar. And so I don't recommend fruit juices. Now, if you want to puree the whole fruit, and do that, like put it in a Vitamix or something like that, that's fine. But if you're going to juice it, I don't recommend juicing fruits. Now, you can juice vegetables all day. And if you want to throw a Granny Smith apple in there or something like that, that's fine to sweeten it up a little bit. But I don't recommend juicing fruits or drinking fruit juices because it's just sugar, and sugar causes inflammation in the body. Now, if you can do organic, great. If you're going to eat the skin of something like an apple, I recommend organic. If you're not going to eat the skin, wash whatever it is, let's say an orange or tangerine, wash it really good with soap and water, and then peel it. But if you're going to eat the skin, I recommend organic. If you're going to do something that grows underground, potatoes, onions, turnips, I recommend organic for them as well. And celery should also be organic, by the way, because celery sits in water when it grows. That's why if you look at celery, it's white on the bottom and green on top. That white part, it's actually in water when it's growing. And if that water is loaded with contaminants, wet waste products, toxins, it's going to be absorbed into the celery. So if you're not doing organic, at least cut off that white part. Hate to waste food, but it's a good idea. So if you're just tuning in, I'm Dr. Joe Esposito. We're talking today about the best diet for pain management. Now, fats are going to be very important when it comes to pain management. A couple of days ago, we did a show, a couple of weeks ago actually, on the Mediterranean diet. Now, the Mediterranean diet is pretty much what I've been teaching you for 40 years. Fruits, vegetables, nuts, and seeds, a little bit of animal product, and a little bit of alcohol. I don't agree with the animal product or alcohol, but that's the 80-20 rule. 80%, you got to be really strict, take your supplements, eat the right food. 20%, I give you a little leeway. But that doesn't mean, diet cookies and milkshakes for the 10% or 20%. No, it just means a little more leeway. So try to eat what I suggest 80% of the time. You're going to do pretty well. The fats are going to be important because every cell in your body has what's called a lipoprotein layer. Lipoprotein is fats and proteins, lipoprotein, and it surrounds the cell. And if you have good fats and good proteins, you're able to transport nutrients in and transport waste products out. That's a good, healthy cell wall. If you're doing things like vegetable oils, polyunsaturated fats, corn, canola, soy, cottonseed, those are bad fats. So if you have good fats, the cell wall is healthy and able to transport nutrients back and forth. If you have bad fats, the body can't do that as well as it should, and that can lead to disease. This whole thing with these polyunsaturated fats, these seed oils, the research is just coming out almost every day, how it's linked to diabetes and cancer and heart disease and brain function, Alzheimer's, obesity. I really want you to cut out the seed oils. The only two oils you should have in your life are extra virgin organic olive oil, extra virgin organic coconut oil. If you want to get crazy, throw some avocado oil in there as well. But with olive oil, here's a couple of rules. Number one source. It's from Greece, it's from Spain, it's from California. The more sources that it comes from, the more likely it is to be cut with these toxic polyunsaturated seed oils. One source, organic, and it should smell like olive oil. I know that sounds strange, but it should have a rich smell to it. The ultimate test would be take it, pour some in a cup, put it in your refrigerator. It should get a little hard. It should get cloudy. If it does, you got a good olive oil. If it doesn't, you've got to cut with something bad. Take it back to the store, return it, get your money back, and sniff around and get one. The one that I found that seems to meet all my tests are Sprouts, the grocery store Sprouts. Their organic olive oil seems to work, and it's a good price. I have nothing to do with Sprouts. I have no association with them, but that seems to be the one olive oil that I found that's, at least reasonably priced. I got olive oil from one of the big box stores. What's cheaper? Extra virgin, organic, multiple sources. Didn't smell right, didn't taste right, put it in the refrigerator, didn't get cloudy. Didn't work. So there's deception in the world. I'm sorry to break the news to you, but people are thieves sometimes. And so only use the good stuff. My German grandfather always said, always buy the best, it's always cheaper. And yes, he's absolutely right. When it comes to healthcare especially, always buy the best, it's always cheaper. I wouldn't want discount brain surgery. So I don't think you should want discount vitamins, discount supplements, discount chiropractic care, because it's probably not going to be the care that you need. It's not going to be the quality that you need. And still, chiropractic care is the least expensive treatment for back pain in most cases, and the most effective. So if you have pain, come see us. Let's do a nutrition workup like we're talking about today, customized for you. Let's talk about a supplement protocol customized for you. Let's check the spine, the hips, the knees, the joints, see if there's any misalignments. Let's realign them. Biggest complaint I get it every day, 40 years now. Biggest complaint I get, why didn't I do this sooner? Why did I suffer for so long? And the answer is, I don't know. Come see us. The Atlanta area, Marietta, Duluth, Stockbridge, and West Cobb. Normally the first visit is $940. I've reduced that for you, my listeners, to $299. That's an exam, x-rays, consultation, first treatment, going over the x-rays, and a complete nutrition evaluation. Let's find out what's going to be the best course of treatment for you. I know people don't really ask about x-rays anymore, but years ago people asked about x-rays, and the x-rays were a lot more radiation. Now it's almost nothing. And I say, to see is to know, not to see is to guess. So I can guess what's going to be best for you, but I really want to do a customized plan for you specifically. And we accept almost all insurances. So drjoe.com, book your appointment. Let's get you in as soon as possible, and let's see what's going to be the best course of treatment for you. and stop suffering, really. Olive oil, like I said, we talked about, it's okay. It's anti-inflammatory. I don't think you need to drink a shot of olive oil every day. I've heard people say that. Well, I heard on the internet, drinking a shot. It's still processed. So it's still not ideal. It's not perfect. And if you're eating a good diet, you get your fats from nuts, seeds. Avocados are great. Now, here's the thing with avocados or nuts. I can't eat a lot of them. I put on weight. So what I do is I eat really well. My diet goes, I start losing weight. I start feeling skinny. And I say, okay, I can start adding a few nuts into my diet. And I do. But if I start adding too many, I start to put the weight back on. Avocados, same way. Now, a lot of people want to gain weight. That's when you want to eat more nuts and avocados. So just monitor your body. Everybody's a little different. If you start noticing, gosh, I'm eating this, I'm starting to put on weight, we need to alter that. You can get your fats from other sources. You don't need that much fat, by the way. You only need a little bit. So the monounsaturated fats, like the olive oils, they're okay. Coconut oil is going to be great for cooking. Extra virgin organic coconut oil for cooking. Extra virgin organic olive oil for raw things like salads. And avocado oil can kind of really go either way. But avocado oil is a little expensive, and most people don't have avocado oil. That's why I don't really bring it up that much. But please stay away from those bad fats. Okay, the canola oils, the corn oil, the cottonseed oil, the vegetable oils. There was a link, I did a show on it a while ago, between diabetes, and it turns out that these vegetable oils are worse for diabetics than sugar. Because the way insulin works, your pancreas releases insulin. Insulin goes into the cell and acts like a key. It opens up the cell and allows glucose into the cell. If you have these polyunsaturated fats, they can clog up the keyhole so the insulin can't get in to open it up. And so now the sugar can't get into the cells. It floats around in the blood, raises the blood sugar, and you've got high blood sugar or diabetes. So it's not hard to figure this stuff out. Well, it's not hard for me. And you don't have to do the research. I've done it for you. Now, you could always double check me. I'm happy to have you double check me because I'm always right. But I'm happy to do that. But I've been doing this for a long time. You know, if my car's broken, I trust the mechanic I go to. If my computer's broken, I trust my IT guy. I assume knows what he's doing. I don't know, but I assume he's doing it right. So I trust the people that know their profession. I'm really good at this. And so with nutrition, it's kind of my strong point. Proteins. People say, I need more protein. The answer is no, you don't. You don't need more protein. You need quality protein. And the best sources of protein, people say, well, meat has the most protein. Yeah, but so does tofu, so does lentils, so does split peas, so do beans, chickpeas, hummus. So you're going to get more than enough protein if you're eating a variety of fruits, vegetables, nuts, and seeds. You don't need more protein. And the nice part about this type of protein is it has fiber in it. And meats and dairy products have zero fiber. And the fiber can push everything through the colon, detoxify the colon of waste products, keep the colon strong and healthy. The colon's a muscle, and you want to work it out the best you possibly can. So if you take a lot of fiber, it stretches the colon contracts, and it's like it works it out. And you want to keep that muscle strong, and that's why you want to eat a high-fiber diet. So lentils, beans, split peas, they're high in fiber, they're high in folate, they're high in minerals, nutrients, and they're high in protein. You only need about 8 to 10% of your total caloric intake as protein. Even the American Dietetic Association says if you're eating a good variety of fruits, vegetables, nuts, and seeds, a good plant-based diet, and you're maintaining your weight, chances are you're getting more than enough protein. So this whole thing, the only way to get protein is meat and dairy products. It's not true. It's a lie. And whether you believe it or not is up to you, but the research is pretty clear. And there's bodybuilders, champion bodybuilders that are plant-based, vegan. There are many athletes that are going more plant-based because they're getting all the benefits of protein without all the downside, the saturated fats, the steroids, chemicals, hormones, antibiotics, pesticides, genetically modified food, glyphosate. They're not getting that, and they're actually performing much better. And I've had a lot of people that are athletes go to a plant-based diet and go, oh my gosh, I was losing out. My workouts are so much better now. I was wasting a lot of time. I was losing a lot of time by putting all these other things into my body. So don't worry about the protein issue. The fiber, of course, fruits, vegetables, nuts, and seeds. Turmeric is a wonderful anti-inflammatory for pain. On our website, drjoe.com, we have a turmeric supplement. I take it every day. So turmeric, nitric oxide, B-complex, super greens, essential source. These are great for pain management supplementation. The ones I take every day, you should too. If you are taking medication, glutathione to clean out the liver, Super Greens with chlorella and spirulina to clean out the liver because the medications have side effects. Medications, by definition, have side effects. I'm not against medications, but there are going to be some side effects I want you to address. And taking care of the liver is going to be key. Nitric oxide opens up the blood vessels. Cherries, tart cherries are great. They contain melatonin to help you sleep, but they can also help fight things like uric acid buildup. If you're eating a lot of sugar, if you eat fructose, high fructose corn syrup has to be converted into glucose. In the process, it creates uric acid. Uric acid gets into joints and it hurts. It also lowers your production of nitric oxide. So cut out the high fructose corn syrup and then increase the circulation, increase your nitric oxide by taking a nitric oxide supplement, which I take every day. Vitamin D. Deficiencies can cause musculoskeletal pain, and research show particular link between vitamin D and back pain. I got to do a whole show on nothing but vitamin D one day, actually. It's so important. But if you take vitamin D, I recommend vitamin D3. Make sure there's vitamin K2 with it. Because one of the many benefits of vitamin D is it helps you absorb calcium from your food and bring it into your blood. Vitamin K2 takes it from your blood and brings it into the bones. So when I see people with hardening of the arteries, and I see them almost every day, I strongly advise they look at vitamin D3 with K2. Now, K1 affects clotting. K2 has a little effect on clotting, but not as much. And so to people with warfarin or things that are on blood thinners, I always say, tell your doctor you're taking Dr. Joe's Super Greens, Dr. Joe's Essential Source, vitamin K2, monitor your blood, and see if you need to change the medications. I can tell you, to the best of my knowledge, no one has ever had to alter their medication by taking Super Green Essential Source and D3 with K2, but I want you to talk to your doctor about it. Because, again, I co-manage the cases with my patients. Omega-3 fatty acids, vital. They're essential. And that is three main sources. Number one is going to be fish. I don't like it. You run the risk of mercury toxicity. They go rancid pretty quickly, and it's not in what's called the phospholipid form. Krill oil is in the phospholipid form, very low risk of mercury toxicity, much better choice. Algae oil is the purest form. That's the one I take every day. I take a gram of omega-3s every single day. You should too, because they're essential for brain function. They're essential for controlling inflammation. And so omega-3 fatty acids are vital, and I like the algae oil. Magnesium is great. We have magnesium in Dr. Joe's Essential Source. You're also going to get magnesium if you're eating a lot of grains, legumes, and nuts, which I recommend you should do anyway. Vitamin C is wonderful to help build collagen and create support. There's vitamin C and there's ascorbic acid. The ascorbic acid is 1/8 of the vitamin C molecule. So I recommend a pure vitamin C. Amla, which is Indian gooseberry, is probably the best source of it. But fruits and vegetables are going to be great sources of it. And Dr. Joe's Essential Source has vitamin C in it as well. Again, when I created Essential Source, I thought about all this. What's going to be the quickest, easiest, cheapest, tastiest way to get everything in? And people ask me, it's a powder. They say, Dr. Joe, why don't you put it in pill form? Number one, the price would quadruple if we put it in pill form, and I figure most people don't want to pay that because it's a whole scoop. To get that much nutrients, you'd have to take a lot of pills. I think it was 20 or 30 pills or something like that. So I said, let's leave it in a powder form. I take it with Essential Source. I mix it. I shake it up with some coconut milk, almond milk, water. I add the vitamin D to it every day. I take 10 drops a day. It's going to give you your B12 as well, and it's a great way to start the day. So, folks, I'm almost out of time. If you have any questions, send them to me through my website, drjoe.com, drjoe.com. Happy to answer your questions for you. Please follow me on social media. We post every single day. You're going to get 1-minute health tips every single day. If you like the long form, follow me on YouTube. We have the long form, the short form. We have a newsletter we send out. I've got so many different ways. Search the website. We have over 4,000 hours of content. So many ways to get the information to you. And by the way, the cost for all that is absolutely free. But if you want to make an appointment, it's $2.99. That's an exam, x-rays, consultation, nutrition evaluation. Come see us. We can do virtual consultations as well if that works for you. But the best thing to do is get the nervous system, digestive system, and diet straightened out. Again, the website, drjoe.com. Thanks for tuning in, folks. Tried to get all my notes in today, and I almost got it. You have questions for me, John?
Often when I go to the bathroom to pee, it feels like it's not all getting out and I have to go again in 5 minutes. I'm assuming that it's the prostate. Do you have any suggestions?
It probably is the prostate, and the answer is yes. Go to my website, drjoe.com, type in men's health issues, and listen to the show we did on men's health issues. All men get swelling as they get older. I've never known any man to not get swelling of the prostate as they get older. So animal products, meat, butter, cheese, yogurt, eggs, ice cream, really makes that inflammation a lot worse. So if you don't know what to eat, type in "so what can I eat" on the search bar and listen to a lecture that we did on what you can eat. Men's Health, listen to that. Follow the supplement protocol. It'll be Super Green, Essential Source, nitric oxide. And we're going to try to mitigate as much of that swelling as possible. And the thing that nobody talks about is the nerves going to the prostate. The nerves in the low back control the colon, sex organs, and bladder. So if you have a pinched nerve, it can be contributing, not causing, but contributing to that as well. That's where you want to come see us, and let's do some work on it. We can also do cold laser treatments in the office, and cold laser can help bring down the swelling as well.
I know that sodium is very bad for you, so why is it that IVs put saline solutions into your body?
Because your water, we're essentially salt water. And if you're dehydrated, sodium is bad for you, but you're low in sodium. And so that's why they use the IV fluids. Now, I don't know if they can use something like air-dried sea salt, Celtic salt. I don't know that. But I noticed it's very sterile, of course, if it's an IV. And because you're so depleted. The only reason they're going to give you IV is if you're depleted in these things. So when it comes to salt, I don't recommend you ever use table salt. Celtic salt is going to be your best choice. Himalayan pink salt is okay as long as it's not from China. If it's from China, chances are it may have some heavy metals in it. So I use Celtic salt every single day. You should too. But they do it because it's keeping you alive. It's not ideal, but it's enough to keep you alive. So
I've heard that the very best lemon water is to puree the entire lemon, including the skin, into a blender and then drink it straight as is. Do you agree?
Yes, but the lemon has to be organic. If it's not organic, don't do it. Organic lemons, absolutely. You can wash them first. I always wash it with soap and water. I have a brush that I wash my vegetables and fruit with, and then you can puree the whole thing. Absolutely great. Good for you.
Could they add stevia to that?
Add stevia to it to make it more palatable because I don't like tart. Some people do, but I don't like tart. So stevia would be an excellent addition to that to make a lemonade, and it's really good for you. So, what else?
Usually I don't consume sugar, but when I make my own plant-based yogurt, I use sugar to help with the fermentation process. In that case, is it okay?
If in the fermentation process, yes, the bacteria eating the sugar and changing it and breaking it down. So the answer is yes. Don't add extra sugar to the yogurt to make it sweeter, but if you're using it for fermentation, it's fine. Because the yeast, if you're going to make bread, for example, I don't recommend bread, but if you're going to use bread or bacteria, they're eating the sugar for you. So,
can you remind me of your trick to wash fruits and vegetables with vinegar?
yeah, you want to do about a quarter cup of apple cider vinegar to about a gallon of water and just soak it for a few minutes, let it break down, and then, of course, brush everything off. And that's how I wash my fruits and veggies. Even the organic ones I do just to make sure. So, what else?
Do you have any recommendations for doctors or chiropractors in the Houston area?
Send me an email through the website. I'll try to find you somebody. I don't know anybody offhand, but I'll see what I can do. So,
I prefer roasting my vegetables instead of boiling them. Is the nutrition amount the same?
it's about the same. It's not going to change a whole lot, really. So if you roast it, if you start to char them, that's an issue too. But roasted, I like the flavor better too, to be honest with you. So, what else?
I'm enjoying my Super Greens and Essential Source very much.
Excellent. I hope. Please, folks, listen to this person. Get the Super Greens and Essential Source. Take it every day. It's way cheaper than a cup of coffee, and you're going to see, hopefully, such changes. And people tell me all the time, I feel great. The only complaint I ever get is the Super Greens. The plain one can be a little earthy flavored. And so we have a new flavor coming out. We're going to have berry flavored coming out in the next few weeks. But in the meantime, get the mint Super Greens. If you've tried the plain, you didn't like it, get the mint Super Greens. So much better. I like the mint personally. I invented them, and I like the mint better. So I take the mint and I mix it with the Essential Source. Even the plain, mix it with Essential Source, coconut milk, ramen milk. It's fine. What else?
That is all.
Thanks, guys. I appreciate it. Please follow me on all platforms. And if you're not doing Super Green, at least Super Greens and Essential Source, get on the website, drjoe.com, and get on it. And any questions, drjoe.com.